Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. The first full week of WNBA training camp has come and it has gone. The first weekend of WNBA preseason action has come and it has gone. And the Indiana Fever are now one step closer to knowing the final roster we will be going into war with come May 17th. Head-to-head against the Chicago Sky. Yes, 1 month in, we can go pick up a 12th player, but we are required, based on salary cap restrictions, to cut it down to final 11 players. And unfortunately for these two, Bree Hall, thank you, but your services are no longer required. And Jillian, Alleyne, we appreciate you for coming out, but your services are no longer required. Bree Hall, Jillian, Alleyne, released by the Indiana Fever. They will now have the opportunity to get picked up by another team, hop into their training camp situation, and see if they can fight for a roster spot. That, I believe, is why they were both released so early, because I do have some questions. Why release them now? Why release them now? But if the Indiana Fever are going to be an upstanding organization, if the Indiana Fever are going to be a professional organization and treat their players with respect, then I suppose better, you know what? Let's let go of them early. We know we don't want them on our roster. Give them a chance to go to another team that could potentially utilize their services in the future. Bree Hall, Jillian, Alleyne, thank you. We will see you another day. But this does create some type of awkward situation, because in a couple days, May 7th, the Fever had we had a little bit of a get-together planned. We had a little bit of an evening dinner planned. Just a little evening dinner. You guys can meet some of the rookies that we have on the team. Bree Hall, Yvonne Ejim, Michaela Timson, Jillian. Now it's only going to be Michaela Timson and Yvonne Ejim. It's only going to be meet the two rookies left fighting for that final roster spot. I think Michaela Timson has that roster spot in the bag. Unfortunately for Ejim and Jaylen Brown, you guys are asking me who's next to go. Jaylen Brown and Ejim seems to be the only logical choice based on where we are at. And Scott Agnes, beat writer, reporter, all things Indiana Fever, he chimed in on this as well. He believes it's trending toward Brown and Ejim, but there are still another 10 days to go. News: Fever have made 2 cuts after the first week of camp. 3rd round pick Bree Hall and free agent signing Jillian, Alleyne. The roster now stands at 13. They need to get down to 11 for salary cap purposes. Somebody asked Scott a valid question. I thought they could have 12. Teams may carry up to 12 roster spots, but they are restricted by the cap. Expect them to add a 12th player about a month into the season. Scott, thank you for clearing that up. They had until May 15th to cut these players. So yes, we want to be an upstanding organization. Yes, we want to treat these players fairly. I get all that. I get all that. Now hear me out. In these upcoming preseason games, wouldn't it be beneficial to have as many bodies on the bench so when it comes time to the 4th quarter, we're not playing anybody who's going to be an important part in our rotation? Especially given some of the freak accidents that we've seen already this season, already this off season, already this preseason, already this training camp, all the freak injuries and accidents we've already seen. I understand, but we need to protect ourselves as well. If we have until May 15th, right? We have until May 15th. We can continue to have these ladies on the roster, correct me if I'm wrong, and then just do one fail swoop all at one time. Yeah, it sounds a little bit ruthless. It sounds a little bit cutthroat, but it's a business at the end of the day. I need to protect my insurance policy. I need to protect Kayla Clark as much as I can. I need to protect Kelsey Mitchell as much as I can. I need to protect DeWanna Bonner as much as I can. Lexi Hull as much as I can. Sophia Cunningham as much as I can. Aaliyah Boston as much as I can. Natasha Howard as much as I can. Michaela Timson as much as I can. Folks, I saw Michaela Timson, dude. I love how athletic Michaela Timson is. She's athletic. She's strong. She's quick on her feet. Lateral. I love everything about Michaela Timson's game. I would want her to sit the fourth quarter too. Shoot. I would want Michaela Timson to sit the fourth quarter too. If it was up to me, shoot. You're good here, Michaela. Let everybody else take up these minutes. I would wait for the last possible minute, sort of like keeping a third-string quarterback on my roster just to play the last preseason game. I know I'm going to cut you at the end of this preseason game, but I'm sorry. I need you to make sure that my starter and my backups don't get hurt. Now, a potential case would be, well, if we cut them now, we've already talked about the professionals part, right? If we cut them now, it gives our potential roster, our potential team, more time to gel, more time to build chemistry, more time to build cohesion. Very good points. Let's talk about the training camp and cohesion and build all of that chemistry behind the scenes when we're at the facility, when we're in the weight room. That can all be done whether these ladies are on the roster or not. Right? That can all be done whether these ladies are on the roster or not. When it comes to on the court, I only want our important players to play 3 quarters in the preseason anyway. So it's going to be either 3 quarters with them in the roster, and then we have our 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th man playing the third quarter. Okay. Or we sit our starters, we sit our 6th and 7th man, and then we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have our literally people that we're going to cut or barely playing the fourth quarter. I would rather that. I'm gonna get my main juice out in the first 3 quarters anyway. I'm gonna play some rotations that I want to see in the regular season through my first 3 quarters anyway. By the time we get to the fourth quarter, I'm already off that. I'm already putting in some wacky stuff. I'm already putting in my bench players. Now you want to see our bench players play together more. That's an argument I can jive with. That's an argument I can get hip to. But I would also ask the question, is it really risk Sophie Cunningham getting tossed by an ex-player? Lexi Hull going after a loose ball and an ex-player comes, and is that worth it at the end of the day just to let them go and get a potential roster spot, a potential team? These are just questions that I had when I saw that they were let go. Now, if we can wait till May 15th, why not wait till May 15th? That's all I am asking. But this is looking like the potential lineup. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, our starting 5. With Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Michaela Timson, Damaris Dantas, Brianna Turner, and Sydney Colson. I believe this is the 11 that makes the most sense. This is the 11 that makes the most sense. I don't think Sid was brought in to get cut. Turner, I didn't think she was brought in to get cut either, but based on her play, if any of them would to get cut, it would be Bree, but I don't see Bree Turner getting cut either. Jaylen Brown, Yvonne Ejim. Unfortunately, I think you two are the next two up. Michaela Timson talking at the end of her game. Michaela Timson, love to see the poise, love to see the control, love to see how she answered these questions in the post-game interview. Again, Michaela Timson getting post-game as interviews. Come on, she's staying. Why are we even talking about it?
You guys got to work on with a pretty big lead. What's one thing you think the team or you did well today?
I would say, just pushing the pace and just keep going, not settling for who we were playing with. We're just getting ready to play, those bigger opponents and to win a championship. So we just had our mind focused on what we wanted to do and just keep the pace and not worry about the score.
Yeah, Steph just talked about what most impresses her about you is your poise, just how you manage to stay poised in situations where you might not know if you're going.
I just look to the vets, they give me a lot of great wisdom and knowledge and, just to be myself, being under control and having that composure and knowing I'm a great player, just having that confidence in myself and believing in myself. That's how I'm able to stay poised out on the court.
Brad?
Michaela, you had a lot of things thrown at you in this first week. Is there 1 or 2 things that have stuck with you, or a theme or some sort of thing that kind of keeps coming back at you that really resonates?
I would say, just keeping the spacing on the floor. If I don't know what I'm doing, just be in the right spacing so other people can, open up the things that we're looking for on offense.
And I think that stood out not necessarily the most, but that definitely stood out watching her play on the offensive side of the ball. Her defense stood out. Watching her pick up players 94 feet, watching her strip, steal, watching her not move when a player's tried to post her up. Her leg, she's just so strong. You can try to post me up, but trust me, this ground that I'm standing on is not moving. It's not moving on. I'm going to start laughing on you if you keep trying hard, like Michaela Timson. But on the offensive side of the ball, the spacing, she never looked lost. She never looked like she was in somebody else's way. And if at times she thought to herself, damn, I'm lost, let me just make sure I keep the spacing good, Michaela Timson, you're already ahead of the game. If you're already thinking, damn, I'm not exactly sure what to do, let me make sure I'm staying out of everybody else's way, keeping the spacing on the floor. I'm not congesting things. I'm leaving this open so Lexi Hull can operate and Kelsey can operate. I'm staying over here on the low block so Kaylin can operate and Dewana can operate. Then yes, Timson, you are already ahead of the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I appreciate all of the support. Who do you think are the next two getting cut? Who do you think is going to be our final 11 heading into game number 1 against the Chicago Sky? I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. We'll see you next time, and as always, take it easy.